Today's agenda, we will take a look at quickly at what Techdinamics is, the things that we do, and then we'll jump in right away into the supply chain visibility and take a little bit a look at what exactly Infoborders and Techdinamics do in that respect. We'll talk about a couple of examples in the order to cash example and the product activity as examples. Then we'll summarize the presentation and we'll take some questions and answer time. So a little bit about Techdinamics itself. Techdinamics has been in business since 1999. We always have been located here in Canada, Toronto. We started as a consulting company first, doing work with a number of customers, and we continue doing work in North America and now in Europe as well. Our developers are located both in Canada and in the Europe as well, specifically in Russia. We have a number of different customers, different size. Some of them are well-known names like Siemens and Maple Leaf and others like Hewlett-Packard. And we deal also with smaller customers as well, medium-sized customers who look for both different B2B services. Our services are broken down into 4 areas. The areas, the ones that are related to the visibility and Infoborders in general, are the supply chain visibility solution, which we're going to take a look at it today, and the community management, which really focuses more on the management of trading partners. This is outside the scope of our discussion, but it's also part of the suite of Infoborder tools that we have. So let's jump in right away into the supply chain visibility slides and take a look a little bit about what exactly Infoborders can do in order to enable supply chain visibility. Before we get into that actual visibility, I want to come back for a second and take a look at historically how we come to this point. So if you remember back for over the years, there was a desire to, as new PCs were introduced, the desire to use those PCs in order to automate different processes. But what happened is we created islands of automation. We created a situation where information was scattered all over the place and made it difficult for companies to find it sometimes, or to know who the owner of the information is and how to get it to the rest of the company. So with the Y2K, the ERP implementation really skyrocketed, and at the same time, it allows us to centralize the data. So what we have seen there historically is we went from the PC-central environment, where much of the corporate applications were on the PC and desktops, into the ERP environment itself. Similarly, looking at the same time, roughly, we started the integration more actively of EDI and B2B processes, which really mimics what we have seen in the desktop and ERP environment. So first, there was a great desire to automate the network. So in the 2000s, we spent time bringing in new customers and developing new connections, and that's been doing very well. And soon the enterprises realized that, you know what, we're having a little bit of a problem of managing all the different business rules, all the business processes across within the inter-enterprise processes. So where ERP was very successful in making that function within with the enterprise itself, allowing that integration of processes and management of processes. When we looked outside the enterprise, when we look at that supply chain, we have built that problem. So Infoborders is one of those products that came in the 2000s, trying to automate and improve those processes, to provide tools to enterprises of different size, the visibility into the supply chain, the visibility into the B2B processes. One of the problems that you probably are familiar is that no matter which side of the equation you are, if you look at the retail industry as an example, whether you are a retailer or whether you're a vendor, you're dealing with different companies which have different business rules, different processes internally, which not necessarily reflect exactly what your requirements are. And that makes it quite difficult to manage sometimes. Your enterprise solutions, if you have some, are not normally able to handle those processes outside. So from the retailer point of view, of course, he kind of forces everybody to live by their rules. But at the same time, it has a similar problems because getting the vendors to comply to certain of these rules, it becomes a difficulty. And from the vendor side, of course, every retailer might have a different requirements, different label requirements, different ASN process requirements, and so forth. So it becomes very difficult to manage in that respect. So these are the problems that we see, and this is what we're trying to resolve here. So what we have is we developed Infoborders, which really try to take those enterprise processes and extend them in a way that they are visible across your supply chain. And what we are differentiate a lot from others who try to do this, Infoborders does all of this or most of this using existing B2B application investment you have, using the existing transactions you're already doing. In some cases, we can complement them with ERP solutions, but primarily we can use the information within the B2B layer. And the way we do it is, the application does it, is by looking at the supply chain transactions and analyzing them in real time and looking at the different exceptions and the business, applying different business rules and providing visibility into the processes. So this is what we have found to be very helpful for many businesses. They are able to improve and understand what's happening outside the enterprise. They are able to automate certain processes and get visibility. They are able to add analytics, and they are able also to receive alerts when things don't go right. And the way the Infoborders position itself is we already have, if you're interested in Infoborders, you probably already have trading partners that you're dealing with. And if you're dealing with trading partners, you have already some kind of a B2B integration server, whether it's hosted by yourself or it's outsourced to a third party. You have a way to transfer those EDI messages to and from the application format that your solution, your ERP solution may require, your backend systems may need. And so Infoborders really sits in the cloud. We don't try to install anything on your environment per se. What we do is we try to capture some of the data that is already exchanges across that EDI connection that goes through your B2B integration server. And we provide visibility to our clients to a view to a very sophisticated set of tools, including dashboards and reports that provide the ability to understand what's happening and receive those alerts. In fact, some of the clients even select to have their trading partners access that information also to improve the relationship with the partner and also to give them the ability to understand the processes that they have and the issues that may be. Okay, for example, scorecard will be an example where a trading partner might be able to want to see how they're performing and compare it maybe potentially across the network of other trading partners. So let's take a look at an example and see where really how, some examples of where this can be useful. So the first one we'll take a look at it is the order to cash process, how businesses can get visibility. Now, one of the things we found, and there was some research done on this subject, is with respect to the type of errors that exist within the transactions that exchanged. What has been found, one of the studies that was done, is that almost a quarter of all the errors that exist, well, actually I should say almost a quarter of the transactions that is exchanged between companies contain one form or another of business errors. Again, these are not necessarily syntax errors, which are obvious, but these are business-related issues. For example, it may be something has been processed at the wrong time, or maybe the pricing information is not valid, or so forth, or the discount wasn't taken and applied, or something was shipped separately where it's supposed to be shipped together. So those type of errors account for quite a bit. And if you look at those that contain errors and those that don't, you find that the average day sales outstanding actually almost doubles for those. So it's significant impact on business cash flow to be able to have the type of delay in receiving payment. So that's one of the problems that Infoborders may be able to help to solve. Another is if you look at an example of the CPG type of client. This is an example of a large client, but we can apply the same logic in a smaller one as well. And this is just average study that was done. Is if you have a $50 billion company, they find about 10% of their sales, so the gross amount, is really deductions. And some of these deductions, about 3 billion, will be trade promotions. There's nothing you can do about. That's part of doing business. The other one is just a compliance. And these are what I will call preventable compliance issues. And those in turn broken into two parts. One is operational, meaning you didn't apply the label on the box in the right place, and there's going to be a penalty for that, and there's going to be some deductions that you will incur. Those are more of a physical side, but the other side is data related. Some of them are related to syntax, data content, process mismatch, and timing. And so you can see that $1 billion is about 2% of the total sales, or if you look at that, 1/5 of all deductions that the company have can be saved. And again, so this is another area where Infoborders can help. We just try to reduce reductions. Again, we're looking at a $50 billion company. If you scale down to a $100 million company, a $10 million company, still they're quite sizable savings that can be seen here. So what does the dashboard, the Infoborders does? Well, Infoborders provides it easy to view dashboard-like access to information. You quickly can see things like, what volume of data is processed, what type of transactions are processed, how many transactions contain errors, how many processes are in danger. Those information through a series of dashboards can be viewed. You can also provide understanding how you're dealing with specific trading partner, or if you're a retailer, how your vendors are performing, and how do these vendors compare to each other in terms of performance and volume. These are the type of information that is here. And that information, then we can also provide the type of errors. We can identify the type of errors. So here, the graph below, you can see the business errors that were identified for a period of time, which prevalent, which are not so prevalent within this business process. Your user can easily drill down into them and see, what transactions are affected by this, and then drill down even further and take a look at what we call a business process. So I'll spend 30 seconds on this one. So you can see this is a representation of an order in this example. And these are the lines of an order that we see here under the order itself. And each order on the right has information like price, quantity, ship quantity, bill quantity. Those are the information provided in one spot. This is just a summary of things that is shown. Of course, there's more information stored in the background. But right away, you can identify which lines contain errors on e-warning. So the red lines are errors, yellow are warnings, and green are lines that contain no issues. So we can quickly jump in and look that one of these lines, I think number 7, contains an error where the shipping quantity does not match PO. So right away, we can take a look on the right and say, yes, 34 was requested to ship and only 12 was shipped. Other errors can be also identified. For example, this on the bottom, we can see that ASN has been rejected by the receiving party, or that the order wasn't shipped within allocated time. So these are general level events that are shown at the bottom of the process view. Each of these events can be in turn acted upon, reported on, or alerted about. So this is just an example process. And of course, you can always drill down all the way to see the actual document that was involved in the process. Another example would be product activity visibility. Now, this is unique in a sense that we try to do a little bit of research. Why are the companies not using more product activity reports? And we found two problems. One is very high cost of transmission for some. There's a lot of data being transmitted. It costs money. It actually costs quite a bit of money for some customers. And then when they get the data, they don't know what to do. It's too complex. The document is, unlike an order or an invoice, is very complex to understand and analyze. So what do you do with it? Well, InfoBorders provides the solution, because we provide no additional cost for transmission. We cover those costs within the fees that we have, and they are not dependent on the volume that you do. We base it on number of trading partners that we want to support it. And the information is readily available on the web through the dashboard. Again, here's a couple of slides of examples of what the sales dashboard may look like. Taking a look at the sales volume, what was sold for a period of time. This looks great on the iPad or other tablets. You can resize it right there. You can also look at it at different, integrate different mapping information here as well. Look at that type of data, and or look at the product level alerts. So this is the last one, the yellow one. It's telling me that there's at least in one store that this product is low in quantity, may eventually run out. And so in summary, what we really have seen is that InfoBorders is really a new breed now of a solution. It really takes us to the stage where we can actually use the B2B data, use it in investment that has been already made, without much investment up front, jump in and get visibility into B2B and supply chain processes. It's unique because it's a web-based and doesn't require integration. It doesn't require, it allows you very flexible in terms of how we can manage those business rules, where they are kept. And we can easily extend the functionality. This is one of the key benefits that we provide. Like some of the competition that we've seen, where it provides some visibility, but limited, very much forces you in a certain box and what certain type of functionality. We actually allow you to grow with it and add business processes and adjust those business processes and reports and dashboards to your specific needs. We have seen in the past there are many different problems. Some of them are mapping related or structured data related. Those are often the ones that are handled by ERP systems, by B2B systems that manage the syntax errors. Where we focus primarily, even though we can help with all four of them, we can really focus on data integrity and content, process mismatches, and timing and execution. Again, these are the things that will help you answer questions or deal with situations where you have an invalid SCAC code, or a send has been late, or a quantity doesn't have much MPO, as we saw earlier. And sometimes the question we ask is it for me? And if you find that you have problems with the redundancy and lack of coordination within your processes, or if you find that you need a certain single source of truth, you don't know what the customer is telling you one thing, and your DI department tells you another thing, and you're not sure where the problems are coming from, we can help you there as well. We can help you also to measure the processes and the performance of your trading partners as well. That's what's required. If you find that certain processes are hard to measure, sort of partners start to hard to evaluate, and we can help you there. We can help you with if you need a little bit of understanding of where to focus your energy and direction within B2B processes if you have problems with them, or if it's difficult to identify problems that they are discovered too late, and they are more business related than EDI related, then again we can help there, and the product can help you with that. So that's really a summary of what the things that we wanted to cover today.